Hello, everybody. So I hope you're all doing well and staying safe out there. Right now, I'm going to share with you a little bit about an art method called tangles. I thought it would be kind of fun to do a heart tangle today, or something with a heart with it. We'll see how it comes out or what it turns into, but I thought, being February, you might be watching this at a different time, but right now for me it's February, and Valentine's Day is coming up. So when you do a tangle, first of all, there's a couple tools that you need. Uh, One being some kind of a pen. Now, I'm using the Papermate Flare pens. You can use pretty much whatever pen you want. You can use ballpoint, felt tip, gel, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Just try to pick something that doesn't smear too much, because then that gets a little bit messy. These felt tip pens are pretty great for making nice bold lines, really simply, quickly, and I like them. So whatever it is you're comfortable with. If you don't have that handy, don't sweat it. One of the other things that I use is what's called a stump. That's this little paper blending tool right here. Now, when when I talk to people, most people don't have stumps just lying around. If you have a Q-tip will work just fine. It works pretty much the same for blending. You can use your fingers for blending, but when you touch the paper, it does take oils from your finger, and you will eventually get some yellowing on your paper. If you're just playing around with it, not really a big deal. If you are using tissue to blend, I would recommend avoiding anything with lotion in it, because that will leave marks on your paper, or could potentially leave marks on your paper that would be undesirable. One of the other things I'm going to use is a pencil. I may use a mechanical pencil, not likely, but I have it here just in case. And I have my little purple putty eraser. Any eraser will do. I just really like putty erasers, so I have this one. It's a nice little soft eraser, and you can bend it, as you can see, and squish it around, and this is how you clean it. So I also have some other multicolor flare pens here. You can use that or any other marker you like. And I have a box of nice, oops, wiggly there, nice Crayolas. So just some colored pencils. So whatever it is that floats your boat, that's what you want to do. So you can do this with color, you can do this without color if you don't have colored pencils, or you can splash watercolor on your background and do that. I've done it all kinds of different ways, so let your creative mind run wild, and let's go ahead and get started. All right, so you want to start in pen, because when you do a Zentangle, or tangle as they're referred to, one of the things that you want to do is not erase. I noticed I'm out of the frame. Sorry about that. You don't want to erase. Now, my heart is not perfect. Well, you know, it's a little wonky on one side. That's okay. Doesn't matter. Makes it more interesting. So one of the basic concepts on tangling is repetition. So I'm going to just go ahead and repeat another line right outside of this. And I think I'll do a third one. If you don't want to do that, don't do it. Do what you want. This is your drawing. But do watch out. Like you can see right here, it doesn't quite touch. Whatever you do, please make sure that you are neat with your drawing, because that's going to make the difference in the world. Pay attention to those small little details. Now, one of the concepts of tangling is relaxation, so don't sweat the small stuff. If you make some kind of a mistake, there are ways to correct that and turn it into part of the drawing. Like, oh no, I accidentally made a mark and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Okay, we know that wasn't an accident, but it is a mark that I really hadn't planned a moment ago. So if I repeat that and just go with it, Now, maybe I'll add, yeah. So now that's kind of interesting. And I'll just go ahead and keep adding things. And now it looks like it's part of it. And I can stop whenever I feel good about it. And maybe a couple longer ones over here. Ooh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take some of these and make them a lot longer. And you'll notice that I kind of just do things as I'm thinking about it. And then as I do that, I like doing dots with 3. I don't know why, just I do. I like odd numbers, so I do things in odd numbers a lot. So I'm going to just do that right here. Feel like there should be another one coming off right there. So now I have this kind of interesting look here, but I feel like maybe there's something missing. So I'm going to do these other ones that are maybe 3 of them. And I think I'm going to do some circles off of these, almost like it's some kind of a plant. Maybe a little bit thicker down at the bottom. Maybe I'll do that one like that. Let's see. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I like it. All right, that's good. I noticed that this doesn't quite touch that outside edge right there, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So now I've got some kind of an interesting beginning. If you don't want to do something like that, maybe you want to do some kind of a more structured pattern. That's okay. Let's try something a little bit more structured. So maybe I want to do some zigzags. Now there's lots of different things you can do with zigzags. And I'm going to just do that all the way around because again, it's all about repetition. If you make it look like it's meant to be repeated, or it is repeating rather, then you're going to get a look like you did the whole thing on purpose, even if you didn't. So I'm going to do this all the way around. And let's see, where am I ending up? Like that. Okay, so I've got that, and I could do something in here. Maybe I'll do circles. I like to use a lot of circles in mine. I don't know, they just feel like a good space filler. And it ends up with some kind of a pattern right away if you have circles. So I do big circles, little circles, just about anything I can. And let's see, there would be another tiny little one in there. All right, so now I have this kind of a thing going on. Speaking of circles, maybe I want to do like a half circle right there. Why? I don't know. Felt like the right thing to do. Maybe it's part of another heart peeking out or something. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's do like it's another heart peeking out from behind. Now that feels a little bit odd to me, so what do I want to do about that? Because if this were a heart, that would actually come more from that angle. So that's fine. I'll just go ahead and now I'll fix that up, make it a really big thick line. And I'll do that over here and make it look like it's part of it. You know, just, yeah. So now I've got 2 little heart type things there, just kind of stacked, almost like little valentines thrown on the table. Maybe I'll do a couple others just to kind of repeat that feeling. I like odd numbers, which this isn't an odd number yet. This is just 2, so maybe I'll do another one Imagine that coming out there. Now that feels better. I don't know. I just like the odd numbers on things. All right, so that gives me something to work with. I can do some thicker lines here. Maybe I'll repeat that kind of idea in making that line thicker over here so it's kind of repeating what's going on here. And that's really up to you what you do with that. I could do some different patterns inside. One of the fun patterns that I really like, and it's really super easy to do, is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And all I'm doing, and then I'm going to do the opposite direction right above it. And I just alternate. Whatever direction I start, I'll do the opposite right under it. And I'm going to fill this whole thing in with just doing the opposite. Oops, that's 4 lines. That's okay. Nobody will notice it, right? Yeah. You can do things without it being, like, if you have something like that happen, don't worry too much. It's really not going to be noticeable. Oh, y'all know now. So something like that, I would fill it in. It looks kind of like a grading, something like that. I could continue on to the next one, or I could change it up. I think I'm going to continue. I just feel like I want to. It feels like the right thing on this to just continue that. So I'm going to go kind of quick with it. That way, you're not just watching me do this all night. I just gotta keep track of what I'm doing, or I kind of lose my train of thought here. And it really doesn't matter where you start on these as long as you're going the opposite of what was above it. And you can see something like that fills in pretty quickly. And that one's done. So that's a great space filler for something like this. It's, great to just like get it out there and do it. Another one that you could do like, just going back to the triangle thing, if you start and then follow the triangle and then almost spiral, except in a triangle shape, in, so over, down, over, back, just following that triangle. So whatever it is that you do, just be repetitive about it, and that's going to make it look like it's all done on purpose. Just be repetitive. And don't worry too much about perfection. Just have fun. Okay, so that looks kind of interesting, right? So let me see. I'm going to just fill in. Let's see. What do I want to fill that in with? I'm going to stop and think for a second. Maybe. I think I'm going to do another kind of a pattern thing back here. Well, I mean, of course, patterns, but something, that fills in the whole section. I have a lot of patterns in my head, so it's just a matter of thinking of them. So if you don't, because not everybody will, and I thought of something else, it's not exactly a pattern like that, but it will fill in the space. So you start these lines, and if you don't have patterns in your head, that's okay. Just use a book, use a link. There's lots of stuff out there. All you have to do is just search up Tangle patterns, and they actually have tons of step-by-step guides, which is really cool because it shows you how to do everything one bit at a time, and most of them are pretty simple to follow. um, I'll, you can always ask me if you want some of those shared. I'll be glad to share some of those, but simple Google search and you'll be able to find them. So I'm just filling it. What I'm doing with this is I'm making some lines and then I'm just going under it, so it's just over and under type thing. Again, I just want to make sure that I'm neat with it, and whatever I do in one section, I just kind of continue. It is a little bit more chaotic than some of the other patterns with this one, but I don't know, I like it. I like it for some reason. It speaks to me, and it seemed to be the right thing for this one right now. It just felt right. Sometimes you just got to go with what you think. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And one thing that's bothering me right here is I want a little darker area, kind of fill that in so it matches on the top. There. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so I'm going to leave this one for now, but I can put some patterns in there later if I want, because I want it. We're starting to run a little bit long because I really get into this stuff, and I want to show you some really simple shading techniques. So this is an area that is in here really big, right? So I'm going to go in here and just do a little bit of shading, just running my pencil over the top of it. And I'm going to do that all around the side right here. It's going to almost make it look like this is casting a shadow. I'm going to take my stump. If you have your Q-tip, your finger, your tissue, whatever, and quickly just rubbing that like that, it gives it some depth, right? So that makes it look interesting really super quick. And all I did was just a few lines with my pencil and rub. Okay, so that really is good to be able to do that. And I'm going to do the same thing in here, just really super quickly. And, if you get the pencil marks where they're not perfect, they're going to be blended out anyway. So you don't have to worry about that. Just don't go too dark, because if you go too dark, they don't blend very well. And you can always add more if you want it to be darker, but it's hard to take away. So just go ahead and go like that all the way around if you want to. If you don't want to, that's okay too. Remember, it's your choice on everything that I'm showing you. So if you want to go a different direction with yours, that's fine. I mean, even go like right around there kind of lightly. And just by going there and shading with that little bit, yeah, just that little bit right there, and now I've got some depth there. Now, of course, there are colors. So if I want to, this is a heart after all, so I'm going to use red, I think, and just color in some of these little sections right here. Whatever kind of marker, pen, whatever it is you have, go for it with that. Whatever it is that you want to use. If you want to just keep using pencil, nothing wrong with that either. Okay, I just like a little color. And I'm going to, I think I'm going to bring some of that in right here. Little red flowers. Yeah. And that looks like it would be something green down there. Actually, I think I'm going to color this portion in with a little bit of blue. I don't know, it looks like it kind of is giving me this like outdoorsy vibe right here. Some of you just color in, actually that looks more like a violet. That is violet. All right, well, we're going to go with violet. So this is one of those examples of if it's not what you anticipated, just go with it. So I already started it, so I'm going to go with violet. And you know what? I think that's actually a good choice. I'm not mad at it, as they say. I like it. I think that ended up being a better choice than the blue for me. But you can use whatever colors you want. Find you're happy. All right, that looks good to me right there. But I do think I definitely want some green for the kind of grassy looking stuff down there. So I'm going to just bring a little bit of my flare pen out here and just give a little bit of touch of green. Not too much. Yeah. Maybe I'll do a little bit here too. I was going to do this shading thing, but I think I'm going to just color that in. Yeah. I'm happy with that. So I would say from here, you know, just color things in the way you want. Think of it kind of like a coloring book. What would you do with a coloring book? That's really what you're doing here. I'm doing some shading underneath these areas. I'm going to do a little bit right here, right along where the edge of the heart is. Just what would you do? You know, like, how do you want to make this? How would you color it in if it were a coloring book? You know, it's your thing, so you can do it the way you want to, whatever you think looks nice. This is just what I happen to like. And I'm going to blend that out, of course, because that's me and what I like to do. So just give that a quick blend. And by quick, I am trying to go fast, so if I'm going too fast, sorry about that. I just want to get that in quick so I can get some other stuff so I can show you. All right, so yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Maybe give it a little bit of shading right here. Kind of pop that out. So let's see. I think this outside one, I don't know, I'm feeling pink for that. I'm not usually a pinky person, but I just feel pink for this. And I think that would just a little pop of color there. And I'll probably bring it out to these hearts right here. Just color that in. Like I said, treat it like a coloring book, you know. What do you want to put in there? You can use marker, pen. Watercolor backgrounds are great, but you want to let those dry first, of course, before you draw on top of it. I like doing like a splash of watercolor, letting it dry, and then coloring over the top of it. If you want to do that, do that. Obviously, it would be too late now if you haven't started that yet. But definitely you could do something like that if you wanted to at the beginning. Yeah, I think for me that's done. Yeah. Let me zoom out just a little bit so you can see the whole thing. Nice little heart Zentangle. So don't forget, you always want to sign your work. So me to do that. Yeah. Okay, so remember that when you're going through tangles, just the big thing to remember is it's what you want, how you want it, when you want it. And if you do make a mistake, which I really didn't show you, so like say you make some kind of a mistake, all right? I'm gonna do something. You do something on another page real quick so you can see it. Because I actually like the way that came out, so I'm not gonna. Let's see, right here. All right, so say I was doing this and I was doing the heart and I was like, oh no, I got a line. Well, I did show you that, I guess, right? But what about, let's see, I could turn that into anything right there. But what about if I went too far somewhere else? Well, just turn that into part of it. You know, this doesn't look like this looks kind of messed up over here on the side, but let's see what I can do to fix this, because I actually messed that up a little bit more than I had planned to. But we're gonna see how I can fix this and turn it into something interesting. All right, so I just did a solid thing there. So what if I did it like little pieces of a plant? I know it's solid already, but maybe leave that over there. Yeah, that could work. And right there. Maybe I could have I don't know, some flowers, little funky flowers. Remember, it's all about repetition. Okay, so those are some funky looking little flowers, but let's see, what can I do with those? I think I'm gonna bring them out just a little bit further with their petals. That looks kind of interesting. And right now they look a little bit of a mess, but if I added some colors to them, I think they could look really kind of cool. Yeah, let's try that. So let me take and do, what do I want to add? Let's take this color. It's like a pinky color. It's a different kind of pinky color. Yeah, that works. Let me do my second, because it's all about keeping. So now I've got something like that. Maybe I've got some other lines coming here. Maybe I'll put some dots at the bottom. You know, there's so many different things that you can do. So, you know, just play around with stuff. Have fun with it. I hope this was helpful. I hope you have a good one. Stay safe out there and take care.